Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by TruthAndTriumph Ministries.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Tuesday edition of Money Mondays. I just absolutely love that. So we're going to do a Tuesday edition of Monday Mondays. And so welcome, Robert Jennings. Glad to have you with us. Truth and Triumph Ministries, thank you for continuing to support and allow this great opportunity for those of you who would like to learn, to expand and to grow in your ministry, in your own business as an entrepreneur. We are grateful for the opportunity to share with you on today. And so real quick, on today's topic, we're continuing in our same thing where we're talking about wanting to ensure that we are ready for the new year. How many know? I just attended a conference this weekend, which was so fabulous. It was Earth to Glory Ministries with Elder Prophetess Sonia Williams-Thomas. And one of the things that she was talking about is being a prepared people. And so that's one of the reasons why we want to continue with our learnings through our Money Monday, because when you prepare ahead, you are ready to pivot with anything that happens throughout this new year. Even as you continue forward, even as you continue on your strategy, your plan that you already have engaged, that you have already have in operation, it allows you the ability to quickly recover. Why? Because you already thought ahead. You're not caught unaware. You're not caught off guard. And so we want to appreciate all of you who are joining us, even Elder Young that is coming on. Thank you so much for joining us today. We want to encourage you today through the lesson as we continue on being prepared. And so today's thought, we're talking about being ready, a blueprint. We want a financial blueprint for 2025. How do we go to the next level? So we've talked about some strategies, and I want to encourage you not to just know the information, but to put the information into practice. How many know that? We have got to put this information into practice. We've got to be able to, so that we can sow good seeds and then we can receive the fruit thereof. And so that's why it's so important that even as we're learning, that we're not just gleaning information and holding on to it. No, we're taking this information and we are putting it into practice so that we can receive a bountiful harvest, so that we receive the fruit of it. And so I want to encourage you today that we're just going to talk very briefly about 4 points. And again, this is the next level strategies for business owners and ministry leaders, so that as you go into 2025, you enable yourself, you enable your team, that everybody is ready to move forward. Okay. And so the first point that we want to talk about today is really doing an audit. You don't have to wait to tax time to do an audit, to see where you are. What is an audit? It is an opportunity to dissect and to look into where you are financially. So you want to audit and then realign your business model for 2025. Where is it? Where is it that I need to therefore stretch or mature or grow or refine or make a different pivot move, navigate in a different type of way, or change our posture. So this really goes beyond just reviewing your financials. I know this is Money Monday, but you want to look at your entire business model. How is my business model set in such a way that I want to ask about my product? I want to ask about my services. Are they still relevant? We talked about that SMART goals before, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time boxed. SMART goals. And so as part of this first teaching, audit and realign your business model, we're not just talking about your money. We're talking about how you are handling business in totality. How are you maneuvering? How are you moving? How are you posturing yourself? How are you moving your operation from one level to the next? How are you preparing for what's going to happen? And so are you targeting the right audience? That's another good point. Are you talking to the right people? Are you involving the right people so that you are therefore expanding your reach? We're talking about the influence. The scripture talks about, Lord, expand my territory, increase, Yes, enlarge my territory. And so now you want to talk about, are you reaching the right people? Do you have the right reach model in place? Do you have the right communication model in place? Are you doing what is necessary to go forward? And so here today, we want to encourage you that as you look at your business model, what is the model that you have in place? How can you, again, evolve it to the next level? We're talking about next level strategies. What we've done before has been great, and now it's time for us to review, to revise, and to refine. How do I go to the next? So realign assures your strategies fit future trends, not just the now, but also future trends, right? And so you can look at assets that are fixed and variable costs for hidden saving opportunity. How can I look for some new saving opportunities? How can I evaluate where I am and where I want to go? And then what are some key things to take me to that next level? You have to recognize that it doesn't just happen. You as a business owner, we have to be intentional. We have to move and navigate in such a way that we bring ourselves into those places, in those spaces that bring us opportunities. How do I move myself into those spaces, in those places that give me opportunity? And so that's what we want to look at today. So you also want to talk about some of the resources that you can use is the business model generation. This is by Alexander Oswalder. How do I move to the business model that gives me advancement? The business model. How do I operate in such a way that my business is not just open, but I am open for business in such a way that I can grow it? We're talking about growing our business. So one of the things that we want to do again as part of part number one, to do an audit and to realign our business model, not just our finances, but everything that we're doing. How do we realign it so that we're operating in the best posture? So we want to go back and do our SWOT analysis again. Go back and look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Go back and do an analysis this week with your team or with a small collaboration group to update your business plan. You're getting ready to go into 2025. We only have a few more days left in this year. So you want to go in ready. What do the young people say? You want to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And so that's what we want to make sure that we are staying ready so that we're able to navigate the waters. The second thing we want to do, point today, is we want to build a stronger cash reserves. That, cash is king. Cash is king. And so we want to build a stronger cash reserve. That way, if things happen, you have something that you can pivot to. As the industry pivots, as things move, you have an opportunity also to grow in these spaces that are new to you. Whether you have a financial challenge or not, you have something that you can even, not only if it's a challenge, but what if an opportunity comes up? If an opportunity comes up for you to move and to migrate and to do something new, you've got to have the finances ready when the time is right to operate in it. So you don't want timing to come and you not be ready. So explore new ways of savings. What are some new options that I might have where I can introduce new ways of saving? Evaluate your credit options for growth or for emergencies. How can I establish maybe that is a emergency credit line that we're not using every day for operating, that we're not using every day for our main operation functions, but we're setting that aside specifically. Setting it aside specifically as part of our cash reserves, as part of our pivot, as part of our contingency plan, so that we have that available and we can move to it. We can move to that when the time comes. And so we want to look at, there are some resources that you can leverage. I always like to give some information so that you can go to the various sources and enable yourself even more. You can't learn everything in the brief time that we're together, but there are additional strengths and resources that can come alongside you in the work that you're doing and enable you to be able to progress forward. So one of them is to go to the SBA, right? Go onto the SBA website, sba.gov, and go onto their website. Thereby you can get some additional information. You can also look at a book called Your Next 5 Moves. Oh my goodness. This is a good book, Your Next 5 Moves. This is by Patrick Belt-David for financial planning and insights. This is very good because sometimes you don't need to be talking about what you're going to do in totality. You just need to know, what are my next two key moves? What are my next 4 or 5 key moves? What do I need to do that will shift me and make sure I'm ready for the next move, right? And so we're talking about next level strategy, what I'm going to do next. And so this book is really good. Your next 5 moves. What's the next 5 things you know that are critical that can change your posture in your business, that can shift the dynamics of where you are financially, or that can improve your client base and your influence? So make sure that you think about that. What are my next 5 moves? Get that book. This is going to be a great, great, great opportunity for you to grow with this information. Point number 3 we're going to talk about today is that you want to make sure that you master tax efficiency and your end of year preparation. Oh, this is so key. I can tell you, even for myself, I have gotten in the habit now of being intentional, preparing in November and December for tax time, so that you're not in March in crunch. March trying to find all your receipts or get your information or pull all your reporting out of we've already talked about it, using software and using those other mechanisms that can make you more efficient and more effective. And so you don't have to wait until the last minute. So you really want to make sure that your taxes, they will really impact your bottom line in 2025. Sometimes it's how much you have to pay out. Sometimes it could be the influx of tax returns that's coming in. But either way, you need to be learning about tax deductions, tax credits, upcoming tax law changes that could benefit or affect your financial planning. And so this is the great timing that we want to leverage right now. We don't want to wait until it's time to work with your tax preparer, your tax and auditor. You want to be working on that right now so that you know where you're going, what information you'll need, and how you can strategize to go forward. So consider restructuring some of the things that you can think about. Am I structured correctly? I'm an LLC, or am I S Corp, or should I be a corporation or a partnership? Consider, am I structured correctly so that I reap the most benefit from my organization, that I can consume and assume as many tax breaks and as many tax credits as possible for what I'm doing. And so one of those things to consider. You also want to review tax initiatives. Some things about employee retention might be applicable. It might be depending on what you're doing, whether it is energy, clean energy, or resourcing. Look at where there are some incentives for taxation based on what you're providing. Or we've been talking about this before, or whether there's an opportunity for you to stretch into another lane that would then also help you reach some tax benefit. Maybe not this year coming because you haven't been doing it in 2024, but in 2025, you can launch out in that space and then have an opportunity to reach the tax incentives because you're now reaching another demographic or you're doing something different. So you really want to think about that. How can I best benefit from my organization and what I'm doing based on the taxes that I'm paying? And some of those things is looking at restructuring, looking at tax credits, looking at tax benefits, and how you can benefit from them. There's an opportunity for you out there in whatever line of business you're doing. Take advantage of it. Nonprofits have huge tax reduction, tax incentives that they can leverage in being a nonprofit. And so even in your corporation or your organization, maybe there are some things about where you are, where you're located. Maybe they're doing an influx of funding for that particular area. Don't sit back and miss an opportunity that you can leverage in your tax efficiency. So we want to look ahead and think about that. Some of your resources is Tax-Free Wealth. That's a good book. Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. You can look at that. How is there a way so that by looking at things that give you tax-free, that you build your wealth through it? How can I structure myself in such a way that I reduce my taxes and I reduce some of the things that I have to pay, which is also increasing your margin, right? And giving you a gap between what's going out and what's coming in. And so you increase the gap. Sometimes the increase in gaps is lowering your expenses, and taxes is definitely one of those ways to do so. Also, make sure you go to the IRS.gov and look at the 2025 updates. Look at what they're saying. We might talk about some of that in the next session to kind of help some of these resources that I've already given out. Look at how you can use them and the information that are contained in them and how they can be beneficial to you. So we'll go ahead and take an opportunity to look at some of that, but look at booking a consultation with your tax preparer, your tax advisor before the year end. Again, don't wait, because there might be some things that you need to do right now that can help you so that when you go into 2025, you are suited, you're right fitted to do well when the tax preparer starts to working on your taxes, because you want to maximize your savings and you want to be compliant for 2025. So having those early conversations, we talked about having others who can help enable you, give you support, give you strength, give you wisdom. Having that early conversation can help you instead of just always saying, let me just glean all my stuff together and just give it over to them. Having that brief conversation. No, if you have a consultation ahead of time, having some early insight, early awareness can help you in driving to more financial stability. And the very last one we're going to talk about today is point number 4, leverage your networking and collaboration for growth. Again, strategic partnerships and collaborations can really open up new doors. You never know. The person that you may be having conversation with, the person that you may be around, they may have insights into something that can lead you down a path of more stability or more growth, influence, opening up doors to new customers, new client lines, new products. And so it bears having a interested party that you network with. And so we want to encourage you in that, so that you don't operate silo. You don't want to be single threaded. You want to make sure that you're operating in a lane that you can reach some new audiences, so that you can reduce some costs. Maybe that partnership, maybe there's a shared collaboration of your spacing. Maybe there's a shared collaboration of some of your vendor costs. There's an opportunity in strategic alignment. And that's what we're talking about, next level strategies for 2025. What do you need to be thinking about so that in next year, you can reduce some of your costs and you can increase your influence? And you can do that easily through having strategic partnerships. You have to make sure that their goals align to yours. While you might be in different product services, you might be doing things a little bit differently, but if they have the same mindset, that they have the same operating mission and vision, so that they can connect together and you can operate well. You want to build for intentional relationships to grow in 2025. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you today to look for a strategic partner. That's going to take you some stepping out of your comfort zone. You do not grow in comfort. You have to step out of your comfort zone. Some people might say, I'm introvert. I don't talk to people that well. Well, you're going to have to get out of that box. If you're going to grow, if you're going to go into new spaces and new places, you got to be willing to meet new people. And so you can go into some resources, maybe Toastmasters, maybe into some lanes of getting you a personal coach, doing those things that you need to, working with your team. I feel that way when I'm working with my team. They sharpen me while I'm sharing. I'm gleaning from their questions. I'm gleaning from their experiences. I'm gleaning from their understanding. And so you can do the same thing. You can glean from your team. And so don't silo yourself off and be defensive when others have a thought or an idea or a concept. As long as it's on mission, you can change the way you do things. But long as it's on mission and on vision, you can still push it forward. And people have a huge buy-in when they are part of the decision-making, when they are part of the process. And so we want to make sure that our team are part of the process. And so even in you looking at strategic partners, let them participate. Because know this, you don't know everybody. I don't know everybody. But some of them may have some interested partners that they could give you insight to, that they could bridge the gap and allow you the opportunity to meet them. And so they have a network and they can introduce you to their network. And therefore that expands your reach. That expands the opportunity for your business. And so sometimes you want to think about host a joint event with a complementary business or ministry. Host an event where you can collaborate together. I do that all the time. When others are in business, I make offers. As the Lord lead me, let's do something together. Let's do iron sharpening iron. Let's help each other to grow. Let's expand. Let's improve our reach. And let's improve our understanding by the whole effort of collaboration. And so you can do that even in your ministry. Come together and let the ministry do some things together. It's not about one doing more than the other. It's about the collaborative strength of coming together. And you look at it from the perspective that you both do in. Look at it. How can we tactically plan it out, this event or this venture or this partnership, in such a way that we both come out on top, that we both win, that I'm gleaning, and it could, oh, that's a good thought. It could be different. What they need and what you need may be different, but there's an opportunity, the collaboration coming together where they can win in the space where they need strength, and you can too. So don't immediately cross off the point of collaboration. And I'll say this too. Even if you've had constraining prior situations, even if you've tried it before and it didn't work, it is worth pursuing it again. It is worth trying it again. Even in the scripture, he talks about, shall I pursue? David asked, when they came and took everything, he said, pursue it, you're going to recover it all. I want to encourage you. I've had to redo some things in my life, even after having done all you could and it didn't work out well. After you go back and re-strategize, after you have conversation, after you through prayer and understanding where the error happened, where the reach didn't happen as it should, how can I now go back and do it again? I want to encourage you. This is a new year you're going into. So take all that you've learned. What do they say? I either learn or I win. Take all your learnings to move you to a win. Some of my biggest wins came after a learning opportunity. Yes, it did. Some of the biggest wins that I've had in my life have come after I had a learning experience. And it might have hit hard, but you can recover. You can recover and you can move forward. And so we want to encourage you that you don't forget the benefit of a joint venture, the benefit of partnering together, the benefit of having the additional support and the extra help of someone else going in with you who have the same mindset and the same desire to see you both win. So you want to build intentionally for your partnerships and relationships to grow you in 2025, not to tax you, not to take away from what you're trying to do. Be intentional. Let this new year be a different mindset so that we change our minds for growth. And so, again, you might want to host a joint venture where it's complementary to you and another business, or you might want to explore some marketing opportunities and create some additional income streams. And by doing so, then you also have an opportunity to partner with others. There's a good resource that says Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. This really talks about networking strategies. Sometimes we just need some strategies. We know we need to do it. We know we want to do it. We just don't know how. And so this is a good resource that we can peruse through and get some clarity on how do I start off networking. And it talks about never eat alone as an opportunity where you always have an event where you are eating or where you're having a coffee connection. I use the analogy, let us catch up. And I write it out just like lettuce and ketchup. And I said, let's catch up, right? So let's get together, let's collaborate, let's talk. And sometimes it doesn't always have to be direct on business. Sometimes you just need to partner and meet someone who's doing something great, someone that you see that they are an inspiration to you. And so sometimes you just want to go and glean. I just want to sit down and talk about what you're doing because I see you and it is impressive and you're inspiring me. And so I just want to hear information from you and I want to glean from your wisdom. Never eat alone. This is an opportunity for you to network, for you to sit down and have a coffee connection, for you to glean from others. And then from that understanding and come to a mutual understanding, it may then promote you to have a business partnership or to go into some type of venture together. So want to encourage you in that if you have identify a potential collaboration opportunity, whether it's an event, right? Or whether it's just sitting down having conversation about what do you do and what they do and how perhaps maybe you can offer up your network and their network so that you can strengthen one another and help each other go forward. Maybe you want to plan out even to meet with them before year end or in the first of the year. Get on somebody's calendar that is in your lane that you have not had an opportunity to glean from, but you've seen what they have produced. Fruit doesn't lie. And so when you see fruit, it is an opportunity to understand how are you cultivating that, right? How are you planning and then watering and getting that kind of increase? I want to learn. And so I hope today from our conversation that you understand, don't wait for January. That's why we're talking about preparing you all in December. Don't wait to January and say, I'm going to do something new. What do they call that? New Year's resolution. No, I'm going to do something. As soon as I identify that a change is necessary, I'm going to move forward in it. I'm going to craft the strategy that's going to help me move forward iteratively. Even if I'm not able to get to everything in the first month, I'm going to chunk it up in sizes, right? Measurable, specific, time box, in ways that I know I can execute and it can be achievable for me. So we want to tell you, take one step toward 2025 readiness today, whether it's auditing your model, expanding your financial purview, putting in a buffer, optimizing your taxes, or reaching out to collaborate. Share your progress with us on the Money Monday show on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. I want to encourage you, go to us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Go ahead and like and share the Juice Radio and Talk Show and meet us every Monday on Money Mondays. Today was Tuesday's edition of Monday Mondays. I'm Executive Pastor Grant, and I'm so glad to be with you on today. Peace and blessings to you.